Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Salam satu Malaysia to all from UMS, staff and students, especially the students. So from us at Strateq Group of Companies, we would like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to engage with you and speak with you about the company and our opportunities for you to conduct your industrial training. So we understand that your industrial training is an important part of your course that you need to do to complete to graduate, right? So we do offer those opportunities to you. So we are going to present a little bit about our company today and what we can offer to you. All right. So as I mentioned, I have my colleagues with with me, Puan Lina from Human Resources, Mr. Sam from Software Development, and Mr. James from Big Data Analytics. Right. So my name is Ahmad. I'm a training manager with Strateq Group of Companies. So let me start this presentation. All right. So basically the agenda is going to look like this. I'm going to start off with a company and program introduction, about 5 minutes, moving on to software development and data analytics in deep. So each segment will take roughly about 10 minutes. And then Puan Nina will take human resources segment, which will take about 10 minutes. And we are going to allow some time at the end, about 10 minutes for some wrap up and questions and answers if you have any from your end. So,
Sorry, is this recorded?
oh, sorry.
I'm not sure whether this is recorded or not.
I am not sure.
You can try to record lah so that we can share the video afterwards for those who cannot make it because of line problem or something.
Oh, okay,
Is it
okay,
possible?
okay. No problem.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not sure if I can record because I'm not the one who set up the meeting.
Okay.
So the thing is, I'm also not very familiar with WebEx.
So am I, honestly. To be honest, I'm also not that proficient in WebEx. So I usually use Google Meet, but there are limitations for Google Meet. So WebEx is the choice lah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I don't see any recording
Okay.
option.
That is okay lah. It's okay. So if you cannot record, that's okay lah.
Okay.
But can we share the slide afterwards? If can.
Yeah, can.
Share the slide to those who cannot make it to this meeting. Thank you.
Boleh. Okay. So let me start off with the introduction of our company, right? Strateq Group of Companies. We have offices in USA, China, Hong Kong, Thailand, Malaysia, and Singapore. The HQ is actually located in Malaysia. So the company started off in Malaysia and it is HQ in Malaysia, right? Even though we have offices spread across Southeast Asia, and now we have presence in the US as well. Now, Strateq, the word Strateq itself is a combination of strategy and technology, which symbolizes the combined use of strategy and technology to help customers transform their businesses. So one of our strengths in Strateq is digital transformation for companies, right? And let me show you what we have in terms of our history. So we started off in 1983. So Strateq originally was known as Kompakas Sdn Bhd way back in 1983. So over the years, we have rebranded ourselves, we have renamed ourselves, right? In line with the growth the company enjoyed and working across various industries currently. So as you can see on the screen here, right? In Malaysia, we are located in PJ, Section 13, Petaling Jaya, yeah. So our HQ is in PJ. And in addition to the HQ, we have a data center in PJ as well. So it's actually a short walk from the data center to HQ. And we have another data center which is located in ICT, right? In Singapore, we have a data center as well. Okay? So as you can see in this timeline on the left, from 1983 to 2018, we've actually branched out into different areas of business. So in 89, we branched into data center and business continuity solutions, 93 into petrol retail solutions, 97 to healthcare solutions, 2012 into Enterprise Business Solutions, and most recently in 2018, Sentry Security Solutions. Sentry Security is basically working with defense. So we're working with the Ministry of Defense on this part, right? So a little bit of a detailed timeline here, just to let you all know who are the companies that we work with, what are the industries we work with, right? So as you can see in this roadmap, some of the more prominent companies that most of you know or use their products or services. One of them is Maybank. We work with Maybank. Shell, all right? Hospital Putrajaya, since we've already branched into healthcare, okay? So some of the products here you can see like Physician. Physician is one of our products which we introduced in 2009. 2014, we actually rolled out Physician into Parkway Pantai Hospital and its branches, right? 2016, we introduced 37 Degrees, which is another healthcare information system. And 2017, we obtained a platinum partner with AWS, Amazon Web Services, you know, the cloud services, right? So, and in 2021, actually, we have actually launched the Center of Excellence, right? So we have a Center of Excellence for us to work with our clients in areas such as data science, software engineering, and also cloud services. Okay, so actually, Strateq has been around for nearly 40 years. If you count it from 83 to 2021, we are almost reaching 40 years. We've been in Malaysia for quite a while already with an established presence. Okay, so our business pillars basically are divided into three main categories, which are services, products, and also system integration. So these are some of the products you can see. These are the services that we manage, right? We have various professional services that we are involved in. In terms of system integration, as I mentioned, we work with many industries, banking, financial, oil and gas, right? And we are working currently with more than 40 different partners. Okay. Now, in terms of the program, just to give you guys a brief overview of how the program works, the internship program works. So basically, first of all, you need to apply, right? At the end, towards the end, we'll direct you to who you should send your applications to. First off, we'll start off with the foundation pillar, whereas we'll assess your capability, and then based on the assessment, we will stream you according to your capability and let you undergo a specific product training. Now, when you do a specific product training, we would like you to get certified. So we want you to get certification for specific products in the aim to increase your knowledge and also your proficiency in using these products, right? So once these two things are done, we will give you on-the-job training. So basically on-the-job training is entailing that you work on real-world projects and be involved in the processes and make meaningful contributions, right? Because one of the aims of industrial training is for you to get real-world experience, okay? So what better way for you to get real-world experience than for you to work on real-life projects? So it's either if you go into the software development part, or you go into the big data analytics part. Okay? Then you will work with the projects. Of course, these assignments or project will be dependent, right? Okay. Okay, so this is the introduction part. So next on, we're going to move into the software development part. This will be taken over by Mr. Sam, my colleague. All right. So Sam, when you're ready.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Ahmad. Yeah, very good morning to everyone. So my name is Sam. I'm the head of software development, Center of Excellence, and we are focusing on software engineering. Yeah. All right. So a little bit of the background of what product that we are developing. So focusing on the top left here, we started off with developing our own healthcare system. or just like what Ahmad mentioned, is the hospital information system. So it's built using the open standard technology, and we are basing on service-oriented architectures, or you call it like a N-tier web-based architecture kind of healthcare platforms. So we have a few hospitals that are using our software here in Malaysia, and we also managed to make our presence in US as well. So a few hospitals is using our system as well. So bottom here we have the mobile application is an extension of our healthcare solutions. So this actually allow patients and doctors to make the con call, or we call it telemedications, and then we also allow existing patients to book their appointment, to do self registrations, and also viewing their own medical records and so on. So actually this application is very helpful, especially during this pandemic period, where patients do not need to go to the hospital for the consultations. So it actually minimizes the risk of infections. So on the center here, we also doing the non-healthcare software development, such as petrol retail solutions. So this is actually running on Azure DevOps, a fully continuous integration and continuous deployment, or you call it CI/CD. Yeah, so it's built using the native mobile development. So the .NET Core Assist backend. So on the right here, we actually work closely with James teams. So from Big Data. So this is actually, on providing the AI-driven data analytics solutions to our B2B and also B2C platforms. So actually with this platform, right, we enable our customer to do their, we help our customer to do digital transformations. So we offer them to sell their product on their storefront. So with all the data, with all the tools that we have, then we help our customer to actually match back to the procurement platform and so on. So because this huge platform actually support a variety of products that we offer, so there will be a mixture of programming language and database that we use. So on the right bottom here, so to further diversify our business, right? So we are being engaged by the investment partner, so to come up with some sort like a investment platforms. So it's purely serverless, and we are leveraging on the AWS Cloud9 to write our codes. Yeah. So actually, not only software development, so we also expose ourselves with data migration, master data management. We're also developing some blockchain technology, blockchain solutions. We also provide professional service and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm on next slide. All right, so in terms of software development process, so this is a typical software development process which divided into 4 phases. So this actually is covering end-to-end process. So we have the discovery phase, so where we will conduct the business workshop, user studies, and so on. So in this stage, actually will be handled by our subject matter experts or our business analyst, solution architect, and as well as system analyst. After that, we move on to the design phase. So this is where we do all the wireframes, prototyping. So this stage usually handled by the system analyst, UI UX engineer. So the next phase is the development phase, where the software engineers, the QA, they will put the requirement into a working pieces. So before we do the deployment phase to be released to our customers. So we are adopting agile methodology. So that's this is actually a cycle with all the iteration in place. My next slide. Yeah. So from the development process, this is how we map into the Scrum process. So from the left, we have the agile requirement gathering. So the requirement can be anything. So it can come from anyone that has the idea. Then we will record it into the product backlog. So we have the product owner actually to prioritize it. So when the product owner groom the story with the team, then they tell what they want to achieve in the next features. So during the sprint planning, the team will decide, so who do what in the sprint backlog, and depending on the available resources. Then the team will have a daily stand-up meeting. So usually it's in the morning. So to have a short discussion like what has been done yesterday, what are you going to do today, and then is there any roadblock or impediment that they are facing. So it will be a 2-week sprint. So once the story is completed, tested, accepted by the product owner, then it will go through the release process. And then on the left bottom there's a DevOps process. This is just showing that the whole process actually is a iteration process. And then we use a lot of tools. So there is tools involved in each of the processes. And next slide. So our internship program actually is designed to provide interns with a hands-on experience. So rest assured that our internship program actually has met some very high standards, and also this internship program actually is, I would say, is one of the best. So you will see yourself later during the video presentations. So we started off with the foundation program. So this is actually to assess the individual interns. So from this assessment review, we will further understand the strength and the weakness of the interns, and then we decide on the role and responsibility. So it can be a developer, it can be a QA, it can be an automation, it can be a UI UX team, or maybe even a SysOps. So there'll be a buddy system for the interns. So this buddy actually is to guide, to assist the interns. So at the end of the internship, if you are good, then you will be offered a permanent position to work with us. Next slide. All right. So what can you gain? So in terms of programming skill, if you are a mobile developer, then of course you'll be learning Kotlin, Swift. So it's purely a native development. And then from the web base, we have PHP, C#, Node.js, .NET Core, and database, Microsoft SQL, MySQL, and NoSQL. So in terms of cloud skills, so you might be wondering, hey Sam, I'm a software engineer, so what to do with the cloud? So here, right, in Strateq, we will train you to become a full stack developers. So you'll be exposing yourself to the CI/CD. So definitely things like automations, code pipeline, all this will be in place. So this is where you will learn the public cloud technologies such as Azure, AWS, Alibaba, Google Cloud, and then potentially Red Hat OpenShift as well. So, and also because we are running agile methodology, we do have all the Scrum ceremonies. So where you might be appointed by your team member to chair the meeting. So this is where you get yourself to learn all the soft skills, how to communicate with the product owner, how to present your stories. So this is how we train our team. So to prepare our team for their next career ladder. Yeah. So with this, I would like to pass to my buddy James. James.
Hi, thanks, Sam. All right. So here in Strateq, we also have another part of the enterprise business solutions or the EBS team here. It is called the Big Data Analytics, and I am the head of this whole department itself. I'm also the running an initiative for our own Petronas, whereby we actually have a placement of more than 100 over resources into Petronas today. And these are resources that is a mix of experienced and non-experienced candidates. All right, so next slide. So in a brief, my department actually talks a lot about data, whereby we actually go into the path about driving data all the way to making sense out of the data. Now, data can be used for a lot of purposes. You can see from here, right? It can be used for growth of a business, productivity, to increase productivity, increase revenue, and of course, most important is to yield results. Now, of course, this needs to be coming from data that matters. It's not like any data that can be used, because data, there is a few steps in order to get data that matters into an organization. All right. Yeah, you might have heard about this before, but then again, in reality, that's what it is. Because if you are studying machine learning or if you're studying AI today and you're working on a case, most of the time the data is actually very clean and dandy and ready for you to work with. However, in order to get there, there are actually a lot of steps needed. Next slide. Now, if you can see from here, that is the hierarchy of data needs. Basically, before you can get into the top tier there, whereby we talk about AI and machine learning and stuff like that, there is a lot of processes that you have to understand in order to be a very good data engineer. Now, I have been in the industry for more than 20 years already, and I actually started from the path whereby I actually go into the time there was banks like Perwira, Affin Bank. That time there's no such thing as Affin Bank today. Whereby we go inside there, we have to save data to be produced into a report before we submit back to Bank Negara. And those days we do not really have the internet that is as strong as today. We have these little boxes called modem, and we have to go and upload this data, and we have to learn it the hard way. So the collection part there is where we were at that time when I started it. So yeah, I mean, there is a lot of students that may be asking, hey, can I actually join the company and become a data scientist there? But well, there is a fair bit you gotta understand before you can be a real data scientist, because data scientists need some form of domain expertise, and there is a technology aspects on that also. So as you can see from here, as you traverse up to the pyramid there is a lot of other things that you can actually learn along the way. Now, how does this actually impact about your learning path after you get out from the university? Next slide. So if you are, next slide, Ahmad.
Oops, sorry.
The previous slide, sorry. I think you were short. Yeah. Okay, then go to the other one first. All right. Next slide, just next slide. Yeah. Okay. So as you can see from here in this architecture, these are architecture of a modern data lake. Now, I do have some hidden slides there, which I would be very glad to share with you if you want to know about what have we went throughout the last 20 years. We have some traditional architecture, data architectures, as well as the big data architectures. However, the trend today that we actually have stopped is actually a modern data lake architecture. The concept is very much similar, but then again, you'll be asking, hey, I learned AI, I learned ML. I'm supposed to be at the data science level there, right? Now, I think the perception here is that if you wish to be a very successful data scientist, you gotta understand where does the data come from also. It comes from the sources. Sources, it can be any database sources, documents, whether it is structured or unstructured, or it can be some streaming data that is either from the public or a private hosted environment. Private hosted, it can be something like a device that has been deployed in one of our customers there, like a petrol pump. They actually have dish out a lot of data from the pump itself. Or documents, it can be a hard copies of documents that is from a bank, whereby it is not digitized at all. And then it goes into the whole data lake there. Now, previously, we did not have the luxury of a data lake, but now at least we would have, and we can actually crunch and extract this data before it can be used into different aspects of the architecture itself. Now, to make sense of it, at the end of it, of course, there is the visualization zone and the analytics zone that you can see on the right-hand side there, because that's what data is all about, and it makes sense to those business users who needs them. Well, of course, when you actually join us at time, we will be telling you what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. Okay, it's not about doing things right or wrong. The tip is about doing what makes sense. Next. Now, this is the path to deployment. Any candidates whom we have selected, they would be joining us into this path from a student up to a personnel or internship or a fresh graduate who is deployable. As you can see from the step number 1 there, it is what we go through with you all is 1 day of data literacy introduction. What is this data literacy introduction? Now, I have a team of consultants, all the senior consultants from BI, from data scientists, and data engineers. We actually have a session with you whereby we would actually talk about the concept of data literacy. Goes all the way from extraction, modeling, cleansing, data qualities, and of course, all until the part of BI and data science. Then after that, on the next part of it, you will be given through a data maturity workshop, which is 5 days. Given a set of data to you, what are you going to look into? What is the business values that you would get from there? There's no right or wrong answer. So what happened is that you would actually look at the data and tell us what is your perception of it, because it's very important to know whether you are more fit to start off from the business perspective, a technical perspective, or an analyst perspective. All right. Well, I mean, not everybody is equal, right? Now, after that, then we would actually bring you into the part where we introduce you to the technical stacks and the product of our choices, because we do partners with a lot of large companies out there like Microsoft and Azure or AWS, and we are actually in the midst of working with Google. So depending on, we will actually brief you on what products are there that you would be using on your everyday tool. And then finally, we would be based on your capabilities that we have explored from step 2. We would walk you through your aspirations and your capabilities, all right, before bringing you into the specific products training. Now, training that time, this is more on official training. It could be like the Azure DP900, AZ900. If you Google it, you would know what is it all about. Those are the real training that is in the industry. We will invest into you. All right. But of course, this training that comes with certification, and you would actually walk off that training with a certificate. Okay. Yeah, that's step number 6. Now, after which, then you will be assigned to POCs or projects. Now, Strateq is a company that is not like end users company. I gotta make this right to you all. We are not banks. We are not oil and gas company. We are not telco. We are a vendor. That means you will be exposed to a lot of different forms of projects. We have done healthcare, like what Sam mentioned. We also have the oil and gas arm there. We would be embarking into banking projects, depending on that moment, what is the current requirement you would be put into. Of course, you won't be working alone. You'll be working with seniors, and they will guide you. All right. And finally, that will be 4 weeks. And finally, there will be an assessment to a certain which level you are before we actually put you as deployable. Now, of course, all of these is not like we just walk through the whole thing and then, yeah, I got my cert, but there's more than that. Okay, next slide. So these are some of the points that I did mention earlier. All right, this is the step 1 and all the different topics that is included inside there. We will be sharing this deck to the host, and then you all can actually view through all these information here. I'm not gonna put a lot of time explaining all of this, but if you have any questions, we definitely can revisit the slides again. All right, next slide. So this is a data maturity workshop. That is the 5 days workshop in step number 2. Okay, and these are the agendas that is within there. Most of the time, you'll be working with together with a buddy or a senior, whereby they can actually provide you some form of advice of what you need to do. And then finally, on day 5, that's where you will present to the relevant parties. It's written here relevant parties, but usually is the managers that is has the experience to evaluate. All right, next slide. So this is the capabilities and aspiration session, whereby the 1 day, we will as I mentioned, we would need to understand what is your aspirations, and based on that, what is your capability. Okay, yeah, I like to cook, but I never hold a knife before. That doesn't mean that I have that I have the aspirations, but I may not have the capability. So sometimes we just have to find the sweet spot whereby you all will blend in. All right, next. All right, and this is some of the products, some only, because if we are supposed to list out all the products here, I think there will be too many. We also have talent itself is a whole suite of products already. Okay, and AWS inside there, and Azure, we are just talking about the machine learning and the data part. There is a lot. We do not put in other products that we are working with Petronas today. That is the tokenization product called Protection. Those would be all involved also. But at the moment, when you start off with, we just perceive that these will be the good foundation products that is specific for the students. All right, next slide. So when you go into deployment, what are projects that you will be undergoing? So yeah, when you're ready, as I mentioned, we are a vendor company. We do put you into a cross-industry type of projects. It can be an actual project, or it can be a call for POC. What is POC? Proof of concept. Now, proof of concept is whereby the customers will come to us. They say that, hey, we want to see how does machine learning actually works with the data that we have here. No problem. We have a center of excellence. We will set up the sandbox, and then you will be placed into those that project in a role. It could be a machine learning engineer, or it could be a data engineer, depending on your capability. Apart from that, we also have different teams that is handling different roles there. For example, the engineers that I mentioned to you, it can be a BI engineer or ML engineer. And if you are actually more aspired to do pre-sales or sales, pre-sales or sales is a lot of presentation and convincing the customer, telling them that this concept would work. All right, that can be achieved also because we do have the team. And then finally, we have the solution architects, and these people are the more above the pre-sales, whereby they would be exposed to a vast numbers of technology. They would know which piece is like Lego pieces can be gelled together and form the entire solution. Now, apart from that, there are center of excellence, as Ahmad mentioned, whereby the sandboxes are there. And then there are also a whole suite of other different types of solution stacks or solution types like IoTs that we on and on we will be building. All right, next slide. I think I'm running out of time there. Sorry. So the final assessments, as I mentioned, okay, you would not be just walking out with the cert that you have attained from the course. You will also get a letter or documentation of completion and a letter of recommendation that you have successfully underwent this whole program there. So the next step is that whether you will be successfully absorbed into the permanent Strateq team. I think that one really depends on the results. All right, next. Okay, with that, if you have any questions or any further questions for me, we can actually get back to that later. But now I'll just pass you to the human resource part first, Nina.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, James. Can you hear me? I hope everybody can hear me. Very good morning to all of you all, and salam sejahtera for the rest of non-Muslim, and assalamualaikum for the Muslim people. All right, so today we're going to touch a quick one under the human resource. I'm Lena Ali. I'm from the HR team. So I'm going through with you guys what would you entitle when you join Strateq. Next slide. Okay, I'm not sure how familiar you guys on Petaling Jaya or Selangor, but basically our location is accessible to few areas, and I'm not sure the students from Labuan and KK. I believe some of them they are from the Semenanjung team, so I guess we are somewhere near to PJ Hilton, our office. If some of you are familiar with the area, or MCOP Mall. I guess if you've been selected to join us later, we'll give you full directions about it. All right. Next slide, Ahmad. So if you join us, there's few ways. If you have your own transport, of course, you'll be able to drive to our place, right? And we have parking that you can make use of it. But if you're coming with public transport, then we have Putra Line LRT that you guys can use. And then we also have means of public transport for bus. Of course, now this is quite popular with Grab and all those things, but these are all on your own accord. Strateq will not arrange for that. Next. All right. So our culture in Strateq, we are open door kind of policies. Basically, our interaction between the management and employees, we allow that. And then we have informal kind of dressing, casual dressing. Informal means that if you have anything that you think that you wanted to highlight or share with your seniors and everything, you are welcome to do so. We want to listen from the youngsters about things, how to improve in Strateq. So that's why we have this kind of culture, that we are open with all employees in Strateq to share with whoever that you feel that to share on all the positive, thinking or things to improve in Strateq. And of course, helpful colleague. Well, I think the students, you can ask, as I mentioned to your host just now, Encik Rizal, that we have been engaging with University Sub Malaysia Sabah for 2 years. I think 2 years, 3 years. I know we've got a lot of kind of students from you guys. So if you have your seniors, you have some of your seniors with us, you can always chat with them and get, some information about how they have their interns with us. And some of them, we have absorbed them as well as our permanent staff. Right, next. Okay, here is our office. Modern IT concept. The left side is our reception. And the right side is our visitors area. So basically, if you've been selected, you physically need to come in for interview. This is where you're going to stay first before we take you into the meeting room. Next. All right, we have all these motivational words throughout our office. So this is something to keep us motivated and in positive thinking. To share some of this pictures with you guys, what we have in our office. Next. All right, this is our office area. Now, if you've been physically in the office in future, so this is where you're going to work. We have everything open, so you can see each other from point A to point Z, exactly. What you call that, when you on board, basically, because we don't have any pedestals, so you guys will have some lockers to keep all your belongings, something like that. Next. These are our few of our meeting rooms. Some of the pictures of our meeting rooms, we have a lot. Actually, Strateq located in 2 buildings. So basically, both of the buildings, we had about 10 meeting rooms. So utilizing of these rooms is basically online booking. So that's what's going to happen when you are with us later. Next. We also have this breakout area, what we call the chill out room, game room. We have certain things, but this is an old photograph. I think the latest one, we have something there. But sometimes with the sofa there, I notice some of the managers, they do have some short discussion, even in this kind of area. So in Strateq, that's why I mentioned, we are all, kind of try to do the concept of as fun as possible. Now, we also have this phone booth for privacy matters, because if you see, our office is open concept, right? So sometimes you need to have, a very clear communication and everything. You can always use this kind of rooms, be it a single online meeting, you can always, this one, no need to book. You can just walk in. We have few rooms inside there, so staff can just utilize it. Next. All right, and we have pantry area. The pantry area is located in the middle of the office. So basically, we have coffee maker there, and then we also have detox drinks that we prepare for staff, and then we have some light snacks like biscuits, majority of it. So staff are welcome to utilize all these things. Next. All right. Now, when you join us, what you are getting. So basically an allowance, training allowance, and we are giving 1,000 ringgit per month to all the intern. And then you also entitled for the EPF contributions and the SOCSO contributions. Now, as an intern, you also entitled for annual leave, 1 day per 3 months training period, and also MC, 1 day per 3 months training period. Now, these are the things that you are entitled to. So besides then these, you are not. Example, if you are not well, you go to clinic, you are not entitled to our medical treatment benefits. Thereby, if you go to clinic, then will be at your own expenses. But if the clinic, the doctor give you MC, that's where you can utilize from this, from here, the 1 day per 3 months training period MC benefits. So that means if at any time you are not able to perform the 1 day job, that's where we are going to deduct from your training allowance, because you are not entitled to any of other things except for this 1 day, so-called 2 days kind of off day in the 3 months periods. So this one we'll go into in depth when you join us later. We're going to explain how exactly it's going to be utilized. Right. I hope you all know what is EPF and SOCSO. So if you are not clear about that, when you before you join us, we're going to explain further. All right, next, Ayman. So basically, the general reminder to all the students, if you've been selected to Strateq, you will have to use your own notebook. The company will not provide. You will use your own email account. Unless the reporting officer required for certain access by you guys, then we will create it. Otherwise, the communication between your reporting officer and you will be using your own email account. Now, parking facilities, like I mentioned just now, if you drive to office, then we have a parking facilities in the office, but it's based on first come, first use basis. Of course, we don't have huge number of parking lots, but I believe so far, okay, manageable. It can be utilized by some of them because we have our staff. No doubt, Strateq, we have about 500 over staff, but not all of us in the office. Quite majority of them are working at the client side. Now, because of this pandemic, basically at this moment, Strateq, we still go with the work from home concept. But if it's any case, by next year, if everything goes smooth, we might need all of us to come back to office, and that's including the students. But that one, I think we'll advise you in due course. Or sometimes you might be deployed at the client side. So these are the three kind of concept that Strateq is going to move going forward with all these new things in the situation. Now, other benefits, like I mentioned to you just now, you're only entitled for the allowance, EPF, SOCSO, and the annual leave and MC, 1 day each training months period. But other than that, you are not. So what other than that? That means like others, if you go for any exam or whatever, that means you are off from office, you are not working with us, you don't have any of that entitlement leave, so-called. So basically, for that HR, we are going to deduct your 1 day count of your allowance for that, for the number of days that you're going to take off. All right. I think okay. I think next. Okay, next, Ahmad. Now, again, because if you're not familiar with Strateq, our location is very conducive with a lot of all this area. So eatery place, banks, post office, it's a walking distance from Strateq. So if you be with us later, I think this one is where majority of people is interested in as well. No doubt we have a cafeteria in Strateq in the building, but this is also another choice that if any of the students want to go out and eat. Next. For clinic and hospital also quite nearby to Strateq. So it's all around there. And for Muslim male, we have 2 mosques near to our office, and one is walking distance. The other one, yeah, you still need to get transport to go in because it's a little bit further to walk. So for Strateq, our office hour is from 8:30 to 6, and our lunchtime is 12 to 1. But only for male Muslim on Friday, they were allowed to go for a little bit longer lunch for the Friday prayers. But for the rest of us, we're still at 1 hour time lunch break. Okay, next. Okay, what's next? These are the process that all of you all need to know what's going to happen after this. Now, my colleague, Mr. Sam and James have also have gone through with you about the programs, what we have here. So you have to decide which one that you wanted to apply for, and then submit your latest resumes and transcript to Encik Aiman. I've shared here the Encik Aiman's email address, so you can share your email with him. But we would like you to have a specific title for your email because it's easier for us to detect, because we receive quite a lot of emails, right? So at least we want you to have a standard email address so that easier for us to detect your resumes later. And then we're going to go through your resumes, and then we're going to invite for interview session. It can be online or face-to-face interview. That one we'll arrange later. And then decision making from Strateq, whether you are selected to join us for the internship. And then from there, HR will start contacting you to do the offerings. And then we will issue you a training offer letter. And then that's it. We're going to see you on the reporting day. All right. And next. Okay, I think this one, I'll pass back to Aiman.
Okay, so I'm going to play a video. So this is a video of some of our past interns and what they think. We actually asked them to give us their thoughts on the internship program.
Aiman, can I suggest that because this might be a technical glitch that is from Teams, Webex, and Google Meet, they have different settings there. Why not we put the link of this video into the presentation deck and then we share with UMS?
Yeah, okay, sure, no problem.
Yeah, thank you.
So I apologize for that. So familiar with the Webex. So we'll share the link for the video for you guys to watch. You can watch and download on your time because we did save this in a cloud. So yeah, you can watch this at your time. But in that video, actually, we do have some of some students from UMS previously who have done their internship with us. Okay, so once we share the slide deck, we'll share the link to the video as well. So my sincerest apologies. So actually, we've come to the end of the session, right? Here, we're just going to wrap up about the opportunities for you to do your industrial training in Strateq Malaysia. All right. We've presented about the company, the 2 departments that we have on offer for internship opportunities, namely software development and also big data analytics. And from a human resource side, we've also presented what benefits we have on offer in terms of our working culture, our working environment, and even your own personal benefits should you be able to join us. So right now, we are going to give the opportunity for any of you to ask any questions. So it can be either to myself, to Mr. Sam, to Mr. James, or even Puan Dina. Okay, so if you just want to ask a question, do unmute yourself and just ask your question, and then the relevant person will answer your question.
Okay, probably I can start first lah, kan?
Yeah, sure.
So how many students are you willing to take? Are there any specific numbers, maximum or minimum or something?
No, that's a good question. That's a very good question, right? So because we also get applications from other universities, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just UMS, but other universities. So currently we are working with a quota of 5 students per university.
5 students, okay.
Yeah. So
Per
basically,
university, okay.
5 students per university. So basically, it's but of course, if there's a demand for more, then we can open up more slots. But currently, the quota we're working with is 5 students per university. So basically, for those who are interested, you should put in your application as soon as you can, right? So you can get ahead of others. So that's why we'll open it. You have to apply. Okay, you have to.
Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, take note, guys. So Strateq, do they usually ask people, the students to go for overtime, OT, or just the specific numbers of office hour, or probably working at home or something?
Okay,
Uh,
I think on this question, Sam and James, you can answer on your respective parts
yeah.
for a better outlook.
Yeah, same here. So it really depends on the projects.
Correct.
The question I saw in the meeting chat is, does Strateq provide any extra allowance for the OT? I think it's possible, but then it subject to the approval.
Yes,
I mean,
correct.
to the project funding. Yeah.
Okay.
But,
Yes.
may I add?
Yeah, yeah.
Basically, we do have what we call we call it hardship allowance. But basically, what Mr. Sam mentioned, it's subject to the request by the company and approved by the reporting officer. Then that's where the student can claim. But I think from the past, basically students we will try to make them to follow the office hour. But if it's in case that in certain projects whereby they require to work extra hours, and it will be all communicated between them and the reporting officer.
Okay. Right. Okay. Okay, guys. If you cannot speak it, then just write it down on chat. Yeah. If you have any questions. Okay. So are there any contact number for me, especially because I'm the penyelaras for latihan industry? So are there any contact number that I can liaise?
Yes, you can liaise with myself or
Okay.
Puanina, right?
Okay. Okay.
And also for those, I think we can connect separately for that. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, on another part also, as pointed out by Puan Lina, any applications for the internship program, you can send it directly to my email, which is in the slide there.
Okay.
Sorry, can you see the screen?
Can.
Take note, guys.
Okay, so this is my email address for those who wanted, as mentioned by Puan Lina, for those who are interested to apply for the internship program, send your application directly to me.
Okay.
Okay, so this is my email, aimanfaris@strateqgroup.com.
Can you write it down on chat?
So
Because it's too fast.
ah,
Better write it down on chat, so that people can copy.
what do you Encik Rizal?
Yeah.
The process now is what? The students starting to send out their resumes already now, or is it what's the
No, yeah.
oh, okay.
They
They are
have to
now
search
started
for.
looking ready. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
So
take note of the email, guys. aimanfaris@strateqgroup.com.
Simon, there's a
So,
question in the chat there.
yeah, there's a question. There's what is the requirement to join Strateq, right? So basically, just to give a general outlook on the requirements, right? So ideally, we would like to consider those with a CGPA 2.8 and above, right? So it's either they are interested to pursue a career down the road further in terms of data science, big data analytics, or even software development. Okay. So is respectively, if you're going to go for data analytics, you're going to go for that internship. So you're going to state in your application you're applying for big data analytics. If software development, then you go that route. So
I
I
think
hope.
that to add to that, like what I mentioned earlier is your aspirations as well as the capabilities. And I think to top that with is also your knowledge. Let's say, for example, it might span across into the part whereby when we interview, we would seek to understand what is your past experience or your knowledge in the field that we are interviewing. So if you do have the foundations there, that would be great. Yeah.
There's another question there. Hang on. What preferred language is used in software development? Sam, I think this is
Yeah, to answer to Ms. Leong Jingmei, so in terms of software development, if let's say you are being tasked to work on mobile development, it will be either coding for Android or straight for iOS. Then if let's say you are tasked to work on the web base, then you might be exposed yourself to PHP, MVC, C Sharp, Node.js, .NET Core, JavaScript, HTML. Yeah.
Are there any training provided for those who haven't have the programming language skills required?
There will be a buddy guiding you. So it will be assigned a buddy. Yeah. So we also notice that because not everyone. Okay, let's say for example, if let's say you are doing the mobile development, so not everyone actually know what's Kotlin, right? So it's kind of a new language. Yeah. We do have some sort like sharing sessions, and also you need to do your own self study lah.
Yeah. Okay, so about the interview, so are there any specific date for the interview so that we can prepare to give the resume or, you know?
we don't have specific dates for interviews. You will always be based on the application. So when the applications are sent in, we need to go through the applications. For those who we believe that may be a good fit for the program, then we'll give them a call, have a brief chat, and then set up an interview session.
So there are no specific dates for the submission of resume or whatever.
Well, we are not setting any specific dates for resume submission. However, it would be very good for the students to know that we are already in November. It's coming to the end of the year, so you know that at the end of the year, a lot of our own staff, which includes the hiring managers, they will take their own leaves to clear up or go on a leave after a long year of work, right? So then that might delay the process. So in the best interest, if you would like to get an opportunity to secure your interview or whatnot, you should try to submit it as soon as possible.
Remember, guys, polish your resume and submit as soon as possible.
Because remember, once you get a resume, also it might take 1 to 2 weeks for us to review. Etc. So we don't want people sending in applications suddenly when there's a delay of review or whatnot. Then they think that lama then lambat and all this. So we need just for the students to understand the processes. The process takes typically 1 to 2 weeks for review. If you're suitable, we call you. So all in all, the whole process itself might take up to 1 month. Good morning, sir. Working from home available. So as pointed out by Lina, right now, yes, we do have work from home. But however, if you go into an internship program and once you are placed in a project, right, and the project requires you either to be at the vendor site or in the office, then it is a requirement for you to be present at where you're requested. Okay. So because as James mentioned earlier, we are vendor, so we are serving other companies, and different companies will have different requirements. Okay? Just need you to understand that.
I mean, to add to that, just say, for example, my team in Petronas, they are actually running on Team A, Team B. So Team A is on a weekly switch kind of scenarios. And yeah, if the project managers, because in Petronas, there's a lot of projects there. So if the project managers is in the office, then usually the consultants might need to follow through. But that's just an example only.
So if we have to go to site, do we have to? Are there any transportation provided, or we need to use public transport for those who haven't have motorcycle or car?
Well, this question actually back to Lina, but then again from my side, yeah, I'm
Okay.
able to answer that. Okay, for my
Okay,
team.
thanks.
So what happened is that my team usually they would claim if they actually wants to drive there, they can claim because it's going on site.
Yeah. Okay. You can just grab, use Grab, is it?
Yeah, taxi or Grab, they can claim. Yes, correct. Yes.
Okay, just to add on, yeah, we understand that the currently University Sabah is in Sabah. So basically, when they've been working in Strateq, will be in Semenanjung. So
Yes.
from our the arrangement is accommodation, transportation from the house from the office. That one is all bear by the students. The company will not respond to that. But then, if the company requests the interns to go to the client side, which is official request, that's where they can claim parking, tolls, and everything.
Okay.
Yes.
Good to hear. And of course, the allowance is 1,000.
Correct.
So
Allowance
quite
is
a number of money, kan?
yeah.
So no problem in renting.
Right.
Alright. Okay. Good.
Thank you.
So how long does the internship takes? I think for the whole semester, I think. So from March until August. So UMS official period of LI is from March until August. Is it until August something? So 24 weeks. So 24 weeks basically like 6 months.
6 months. Yeah.
So August to September.
And all the students that will be involved in the LI for next year, they are ready to work after that, right? They don't have to go back, right?
Yeah. They straight away go to graduation afterwards.
Right. Okay.
What about other university? I think some universities they have to go back to their own university after LI, is it?
Not many.
Not many.
Not many. Actually, majority of universities, the LI is part of the last. Is the last component in the course. So basically, they can be extended. They can either go into absorbing. They being absorbed into the company if the company wants them, or they can just go job hunting after that.
Yeah.
I think so far I've only come across probably one university. Sorry, I cannot recall which one, but only one university which the LI is in the third year, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
4 years. Okay, question. Good morning. As a software developer, are we assigned as front end, back end, or full stack? This one is a question for Sam.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to unmute. So are we assigned as front end, back end, or full stack? So actually it depends. So we have the assessment. So we assess you whether are you good in the front end, back end, or even the full stack. So usually as a starter, so we go through it step by step. So it could be like a front end UI UX first, or maybe directly on the back end. Then before you even move to the full stack. So full stack here means that it's like a end-to-end kind of software development whereby you know how to do the front end, the UI UX, then you know how to program all the API calls, all the backend programming, and even you able to use the public cloud to set up the infrastructure, the VM, the EC2, and all this.
Good morning. What challenges do you find interns most frequently face in Strateq? A very interesting question. I think okay. I'll put out one thought of mine, and then James, Sam, Lina, if you want to add on, please do. I believe in general, I would say just particularly just for one university, I think students, one of the challenges they always face when doing their internship, right, is transitioning from a university setting to a workplace setting. Because it's very different, right? Now, of course, in universities, there's a lot of learning going on, whereby you go to lectures, you listen to lecture, you ask questions, right? Now, however, in a workplace environment, it's a different ballgame because basically, when you're in a workplace environment, you are expected that you are more proactive. That means if there are challenges that need to be solved, where either you propose the solutions, you actively drive the solutions, right? And then anything that you are unsure of obviously you will check it with your own team members. And then when we are working in a big team, especially, right, sometimes communication can be a challenge, especially in times whereby a lot of us work virtually, where we work remotely, we're not physically present face to face, right? So those are some of the challenges that interns can face. Yeah.
Sam, you want to add to it? Sam?
Yeah, so okay, I can think of 2 points here. So what is the challenges, right? So I mean, common for us that so when you reach to the Petaling Jaya place, so maybe you will not know what to do after the work. So because you are not your friends, so maybe you are just alone. So actually we have the buddy system. So maybe you can approach your buddy like asking, hey, what to do after works and things like that. And then the second challenge that I found is communication issues are like what Aiman mentioned. So because there's a time where you talk to the USPO, US product owner. So maybe they are too fluent in the English. So maybe you cannot understand what they are trying to say. So yeah, that's true lah.
Over at my end here, what I've seen is that there is a lot of I usually train my team to be very independent. Basically, you are given a task, then from end to end, you will be able to know what to do next. Of course, this cannot be applied to all of the people that is under my umbrella, especially interns. Yeah, but I think that in a working environment, it's very important that you would actually have that kind of a mindset. And in the future, I mean, you can be reactive, but as you grow into your career, the next thing that you will be want to be more proactive. Let's say, for example, you are given a task ABC, then from there you can actually span across. What if we do A1, A2, A3, or B1, B2, B3? Then you'll be more proactive. So that can be a challenge because you are actually just coming out from the shell, but it will be really a good point to look into as you want to be into a more established position in the future. So I think yes, it also goes in line with the communication with the people that to tell that you have that kind of a mentality. Yeah, that is the challenge that I always see.
So I just add on. Basically, from the HR perspective, I hardly get feedback from the interns that they're having challenges. But as I've shared with you guys, HR, we also in open concept. So basically, we welcome interns, be it, to come and talk to us if they have any challenges. Because from there, we will try to direct you to the right path how to overcome that challenges. But again, like what Sam and James and even Aiman shared just now, basically these are the common challenges that faced by the intern lah. But not to worry. I mean, some of them they said they're scared to come to HR, but to us, better don't. We here to help to solve the problem. So if you have any issue about it, you are welcome to talk to HR. If you're not comfortable to talk to your reporting officer lah. So again, here we are open to that.
Don't simpan guys. So
Ah.
apart from them, you can always message me from for students in Labuan or to Puan Salma for those who are KK students. So just message. So Rizal got problem. So can you advise something? And if you are too scared to ask, so don't simpan. Then ask HR, ask me, ask your reporting supervisor or so on. Okay, good. Alright, ask away, guys.
We were to absorb into company after internship. What are the salary scale
Wow, that's too fast,
positions?
guys. Kan, that's too fast. But for 1,000 for LI allowance, quite big. I promise you. Kan, for others sometimes 200 or 300 only. Kan, so 1,000, yeah, quite high for LI students.
That question I will ask Lina if allowed to
Okay.
share or not
Those,
because you know it's a HR part.
But it's okay lah. They are being honest. So okay lah. And if you have any question, just ask. And no
Mhm.
problem.
Correct. But okay, in Strateq, for any fresh levers, right?
Yeah.
At this moment in Strateq, I'll be open because it's quite standard among. It can be between 2.6 to 8.
Wow.
Right. For the fresh grads lah. But again, we will also still assess your capabilities. So there's a lot of other factors. It can be considered a little bit higher than that, but that is all depends on the situation. But the starting can be the one that I shared just now.
if I may add, I did have one fresh graduate that joined us from another university. The scale is actually higher. It spans beyond 3K because of the results. And then, of course, she also underwent the internship with us. We have seen her capability.
Correct.
So, yeah, that is the few factors that are on top of what Lina mentioned.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. To top up, actually we have the fresh grade up to 3.5
Wow.
because we already evaluate the skills during the internships.
Yes.
And if I may add, as a lecturer and LI coordinator, kan, so I remember one of my students from Sabah who undergo LI in Puchong, Selangor, and the company really loves her and would like to offer her a job there permanently. But then when I asked her, do you want to take this job? Oh, susah sir. My family asked me to stay in Tawau, where I'm from. And so please guys, if you are very serious, especially if you want to be absorbed and if you want to get a permanent place in Strateq, hopefully, then please be serious about that and just don't think that this is just for LI. And if can, as a career lah kan. So that's my advice as a lecturer kan. So there are some in Sabah who family ask them to go back kan after a very good stint in LI kan. I think they offered around 3,500 ringgit, something around the figure, which is quite big and for fresh leavers. So guys, please be serious about it kan. So I think there are some serious and serious applicant there. Okay.
Okay, the
That's another
date.
question.
Oh, sorry. Okay, someone asking about Miss Boon, is it? Okay, she's asking about the date that mentioned on the title. It will be on the date that you send in your resume. Because for starting internship will be standard for all of you guys. So that be because it's easier for us to keep track about the resumes that came in.
Actually, maybe I can actually add some points here. When just on top of what Ajit Rizal mentioned, we did have a candidate that came from another university. He was our intern and was there for 6 months, and then of course his performance is quite good, and then was absorbed into Strateq. And then what happened is that he actually picked up data integration skills and was sent to Petronas as one of the support engineer for one project. After 2 months or 3 months, he's actually now a data engineer inside one of the Petronas data lake project already. Yeah, it's just within the year itself, you can see, because internship is like 6 months only, okay? And then he actually picks up the skills during the internship, and there he is now.
Yes, guys. Please pick up any skill that you can get during your LI.
Yeah, correct. I believe even if you walk off from the LI, you have the certificates nowadays. Technology positions they look into certificates a lot. As beyond the MBAs that you have, those can be a top up of what you actually carry with you.
Yeah.
Maybe we can take one more question.
Yeah, one more question just one more question, guys. Okay, yeah. So
sorry,
what if we have any question after this? Can we email you or any contact number, whatever?
Yes, please email myself, okay? If you have
Just
any
email.
questions,
Okay, you have the email on the chat end. So please email.
if you have any questions you want to ask, you just, even if it's a question for either Sam or James, you just direct them to me and I can get the information, then I will reply back.
Okay.
Okay, so if there are no further questions, thank you everyone so much for the opportunity for us to present about our company, about the opportunities that we can extend to you, and especially on a Saturday. I know it's a weekend and everybody wants to do their thing, but we commend you for coming in on a Saturday and making time for us. So guys, any questions that you might have, again, you have my email. You just please reach out to me and send it via email, and I will get back to you as soon as I can.
Okay.
So on behalf of my team, James, Sam, and Rizal, again, thank you for the opportunity for us to meet and speak with you. Hope it's been informative and you have enjoyed the session.
Okay, thank you, Aiman. Thank you, James, Sam, and Madam Lena for the very constructive talk. So hopefully the students can take benefit and please think of it as a step towards your future. Especially during this pandemic season very hard to get job. This is a good opportunity for you guys, especially for IT students I think one of the prosperous even during pandemic So okay lah. Thank you very much, Aiman, James, Tina, and Sam. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
All right.
Stay safe.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
You too.